popping on here. Let's see who the first person is. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go. See if anybody remembers the fact that we do a live stream on Saturday. We are going to forge a spear type thing today. I think it's gonna be cool. What's up, Nathan? What's up, Craig? We're gonna be forging a kind of a spear thing today. It's gonna be a full tang, kind of like a short spear. I've never forged one of these, so we're just gonna kind of see how it goes. I am getting ready to do the runes on the Viking challenge. Oh, we want to show y'all this. So this is my guard for the Viking challenge. I aged the heck out of it. I did a pattern on it, and of course, this thing looks crazy. Name of the spear? I really have no clue what the name of the spear is. Yep, there's Nisha.
It pop up on the thing.
And so we're gonna be doing. I don't know what really to call this thing, other than I kind of drew a little picture of it right here, but it's going to look straighter than that. It's not going to have that little whoop-dee or anything like that. It's going to be a way cooler version of that. But I've never done one of these, and there was a guy at the Texas Select Show that had Zulu spears. Now, of course, we're not making one of those, but I've got a pretty big chunk of 5160 in the forge. We're going to start hand forging it. I already had it in the forge, so it's already almost up to temp. We're going to start forging here in just a sec. And it's going to be kind of like a little band or bend. Okay. So I've never forged one of these. I figured, why not go ahead and just try it out. I'm going to do it by hand. I'm not going to use the power hammer for this one. We're just going to get after it. And I'm only going to be using 2 Bastards hammers on this. I'm not going to be using the big, like 4.5 and 5 pounders. We're going to be using the 2 Bastard hammers for this. And if y'all didn't know, they're a sponsor. It's the shirt that I'm wearing right here. But they're a channel sponsor, and they're actually sponsoring the live streams. So the hammers that we're going to use today, I'm actually going to use the dog head hammer that I got from Frank with 2 Bastards. We're going to use this in this video today, and we're going to be using the rounding hammer that I got from him. This is a Mark Ling and 2 Bastards collab. We're going to be using these in this video, so this is going to be pretty cool. It's my first time using the dog head, so we're going to see how that goes. What's up, OG? What's up, Pinto? Okay, it should be hot enough. My goal here is to start forging the tip of the spear and then start getting the rough profile of the blade. And then we're going to end up forging the body of the spear as we do this. Got a pretty big piece here. I'm using that dog head. So what we're going to end up doing with this is I'm going to taper it quite a bit more aggressive than that. But we're going to end up notching in a shoulder here. And that whole entire thing is going to be what's going to be our blade. We're going to be forging the bevels. We're going to be forging all of it. So it's not just going to be a spear that we're going to do a bunch of stock removal. I'm going to be forging the bevels in on this, and then we're going to be so we're going to have that ridge down the center of it. You said small hammer? That's not exactly a small hammer. That's a small hammer. That's not a small hammer. And if you want a big hammer, I could always use this in the video. That's about a 5 1/4 pound cross peen. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and set the shoulders from where the blade's going to end. Just kind of give myself a little reference for where I want to stop them. Okay. So everything from that point forward is going to be the blade, and we're going to see how this goes. Yeah, Duck, you definitely gave me the idea for this. So what time is it in Texas? It's about 6:45 right now. You said, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Make a guillotine. I have a guillotine. So, of course, I could always use that. This, I guess, would be the perfect time to actually do this. Let's try out the old guillotine for the setting the little shoulders for this. I mean, why not? But yeah, I got one of those. From Newfoundland, Canada. What's up? Welcome to the video. So let's go ahead and we will use the guillotine and we'll set the shoulders on this. I'm not going to be using one of my better hammers. I'm going to use, I'm saying not going to use one of my better hammers. I'm still going to use a good hammer. But I don't like smashing the top of this with my prettier hammers. So, let's go ahead, slide this through here. There. I mean, I guess that would be a great idea. Thank you for telling me to use one of the tools that I have in my shop. French style guillotine? You mean like make a guillotine? Nah. If you meant this, cool. But I don't plan on making a guillotine. I guess I could. That would be really cool. What stage of making the spear are we at right now? So I just set the shoulders for where the handle is going to start and where the blade starts. I'm going to go ahead and forge that area down just a little bit more with the non-French style guillotine. flatten this out. Okay, so now we have that section right there. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is start profiling the spear a lot. To get ourselves a nice spear shape. Well, let me show y'all a nifty little thing that I made. Turn y'all around. So I made this a couple days ago. I normally would have all my hammers on the sides of my anvil base, but I was running out of space for hammers and tongs because I have almost enough tongs to go in every single slot all the way around them now. And I wanted a hammer stand or a hammer rack. Look at you, duck. And I went ahead and made that. My 2x72, of course, bell saw behind it, drill press, quarter band saw. This is a rolling table. So yeah, I try to keep it as turning all back around. I try and keep everything as organized as possible. There we go. Let's go ahead. Get after it some more. Keep using the dog head because I'm having fun with it. So when you're doing a spear, you need to hit both sides evenly. You can't just work on one side. You need to keep your tip even in the center. There we go. Now we're back. I want to, so of course, whenever I'm out here in the shop, I am like on the edge of my Wi-Fi. It's like the edge. And I've done extenders and all kinds of stuff. I just need to get a separate Wi-Fi for just the shop. Like I said, whenever we're doing a spear, you want to hammer both sides evenly. You don't want to just focus on one side. Now, I don't need ear protection, so whenever I'm working in here, my anvil doesn't have a real big ring to it or anything like that. I have it on a nice big base, and there's silicone between the anvil and the base, and it actually deadens a lot of that ring noise. But I listen to music in my headphones or my earbuds way louder than anything that happens in the shop. I will wear hearing protection if I'm using my angle grinder though. Starting to get a nice point to it right there. So because, again, because this is going to be a forge to finish build, I am going to be doing bevels on it and everything. It's not going to be just grinding the bevels. I think it's going to be pretty cool. And anytime you have to forge bevels on a dagger or a spear or anything like that, it's a pain in the butt, but it's actually not the most complicated thing in the world. This right here is more complicated. So this is a Quaking that I did on one of the live streams, and it has bevels on both sides. So bevel towards the spine, you can see the ridge right down the center here. Both sides. So with that one, I had to actually forge the bevels and keep the center ridge even and make sure that I had a full blade side and a full spine side, and that this line was nice and crisp all the way up, and then had a nice even thickness all the way up. So that was complicated, and I did that on one of the live streams. We are still going to be doing a ridge like that. Pretty cool. A little bit of planishing to keep everything even. Here in just a minute, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to spin this around and I'm going to start forging out the body of the handle. Forging out a prototype on several different products. Next few months. Heck yeah. Is there a performance difference between grinding and forging bevels? So a lot of people will tell you that forging is better than doing stock removal because of the way that the grain structure is, and basically each time you go in and out of the forge, whenever you're hammering it, it's like doing a whole bunch of normalization processes because you're heating it up and you're cooling it down. You're heating it up and you're cooling it down. Heating it up and cooling it down. As long as you're not getting too hot and burning the steel, it's like doing a whole bunch of normalizing cycles and grain refining cycles. And it's like you're compressing the steel every single time you do that because you're forging it down while you're doing the normalizing process. So one of the older guys told me, and you know, how it actually works with the steel versus just doing stock removal. Is that a thing that's real? I don't know. That's just one of the little stories that he told me. Okay. over here trying to do the damn dropping thing again. Grab it with the tongs we're going to be using anyways. Well, I think we did that on purpose. So now, grabbing it from the point, and we're going to start forging the body. So where we have that notch right there, and we're going to start forging that body down and actually creating a handle. This is going to be a pretty decent sized handle. The cool thing about this, the whole point why I'm making this is I want to just have something fun to cut stuff in the backyard, to throw at targets and things like that. It's gonna be ridiculous. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So this whole entire project is just kind of dedicated to making something that is absolutely not functional whatsoever. I wouldn't say functional. It's not a big utility tool. Not something that you're going to be using a lot. It'll be very functional though. And it's going to be a blast to use. Good night, crab. A knife made out of tungsten carbide. That's pretty crazy. Never sharpened a tungsten carbide knife? Yeah. So now we're going to heat up the handle, get that brought up to temp, and we're going to start forging it out and creating some length. And there's going to be a swell at the back side of it, which is going to be pretty cool. Was this influenced by the Eclipse spear? Yeah. I saw you making that, and I was like, I want to make one of those. I'm really excited about the Viking challenge. What's up, Danny? Getting all the runes set up on it. So basically, I had to go through and paint this section, and then I'm going to draw all the runes out, and then I'm going to take a scribe and remove everywhere where I draw, and then I'm going to etch this whole entire thing. So I'm going to etch it with my maker's mark set up. And that'll give me the runes, and of course I'm going to have them on the other side too. That's going to be cool. And the handle's going to be really cool, and that is just one section of the runes. All right, let's go ahead and start stepping these shoulders down. Coming on the side of the anvil here, and just start pinching it. Start stepping that down right there and start tapering this out. That brought back up to 10. We'll start using the collaboration hammer here. So just so y'all know, like I said, these live streams are sponsored by Two Bastards Forge Hammers. People that are on my back right here, they're the ones that make all my hammers that I use in these. We're about to be using their rounding hammer to work on the body of this. They've been helping people out for like 6 years. So again, breaking it down. Really like this hammer. What I want to do, I'm going to use that guillotine tool and step it down just a little bit more. So I'm going to turn this sideways so y'all can actually see the guillotine tool as I'm using it. So this is a guillotine tool. What we're going to end up doing is we're going to come in, put it in here, pinch it down, and get it brought down and narrowed down quite a bit more. Put this. And that'll really define the shoulders a lot for me so that I'm not sitting here trying to just hammer it on the edge of the anvil. Let's see here, what are y'all talking about? I'm not excited about the Viking challenge. There's a lot of people making really cool builds for the Viking challenge, and a lot of the YouTubers that are part of it are making super awesome stuff. Somebody made a helmet, and it is really cool looking. So again, I'm going to slide this through here. Grab one of my other hammers. We're going to bring that down a little bit more than that. I want this section right here to end up being about an inch. So we're going to bring it down just a hair more. See, this is the moment where using the power hammer would come into play. Because if I was using this, I'd be able to do this section really fast. But it's fun doing it by hand. What's up, Matt Rich? How you doing? What's up, Bob? What's up, Stray? So again, live stream sponsored by Two Bastards Hammers. And the cool thing about them, they've been doing this for like 6 years. And you don't just have to get one of their hammers that's made by them. They do collaborations like this right here with Mark Ling. And the cool thing about him is he's on the spectrum. So it's really cool. My oldest son's autistic and absolutely amazing, so it's cool to be able to support somebody like that. Heat it up just a little bit more, keep using the guillotine tool. But they don't just make hammers, they actually will get vintage hammers from like Germany and different places like that and redo them, and you can buy those too. Those were really cool at that show that we were at. All right. Go back in the guillotine tool. Got our shoulders set up. I'm cool with that thickness. Flatten back out just a little bit. Move this. And spin this thing back. I love having these things on wheels to be able to move them around. Go. I am making a short spear in this episode out of 5160. It's gonna be pretty cool. Again, this section that I'm doing right now by hand would be a lot faster if I did it on the power hammer, but I like doing some of this stuff by hand versus just using the power hammer. But if I wasn't doing this during the live stream, we would definitely be using it. But yeah, we're doing a short spear. This is absolutely just kind of a fun project because we're making something that you don't technically use day to day. Although in the state of Texas, if I wanted to walk around with a spear, I technically could. Because of the amount of material that we're about to move, we only want to do this whenever it's hot. If it starts getting kind of cool looking, kind of darker red or gray looking, needs to go back in the forge. If we're doing planishing and things like that, it can be a little bit cooler, but for moving a bunch of material, you just got to do it like this. I do really like this hammer. It's my first time using this collaboration hammer from them and that dog head. Now I'll tell you this, my favorite part about their hammers, look at the facets. I mean, who takes the time to make a hammer look that cute and pretty? Whenever I tell him that I said cute about his hammers on a live stream, he's probably going to be like, they're not cute. But yeah, this is a tiny hammer. So when you look at it next to this is a cute hammer. Look at that thing. That's a beast. Aww, it's so precious. 5 1/4 pounders versus that. Don't call my hammers cute. Nah, Frank's awesome. He probably wouldn't care. He'd probably call them cute too. Okay, a little bit of planishing. You don't want to focus a ton on trying to make things look good when we're in this stage of moving a bunch of material. You can keep things kind of flat so you don't get cold shuts, but you're not trying to make everything look pretty. We're in the making everything look ugly and move it material phase. Okay? But yeah, Frank and Nita, his wife Nita, also helps him. If you're wondering why it's called Two Bastards Forge or Two Bastards Hammers, the Two Bastards is Frank and his wife Nita. But yeah, they're awesome. They are the life of the party anywhere they go. He's one of those guys that wears a kilt with like a 1911 on one hip, a knife on the other hip, an extra mag on the front, and then like another knife on the back, and he's rocking a kilt. Speaking of kilts, I'll be doing the Dragon Forge experience in October, November, December. I'll be live streaming down there. The forge that I'll be working with, instead of being a forge like this right here, it'll be in the mouth of a dragon. So the forge is like this huge dragon, and the mouth of it is where you put the steel. I'm going to be live streaming that whenever I go do that today. But if y'all get a chance, look up the Dragon Forge experience. Pull these shoulders down just a little bit more. You don't want real big hammer blows when we're doing this part. We're just trying to get everything even. So we need to still work on this side over here a little bit more and bring that down. The reason why I say don't start swinging your hammer like crazy, don't get after it in that one spot, is because if you accidentally bring your hammer too close to the actual spear section, you could hit the spear, and what will end up happening is you'll put a dent in a section where there's not supposed to be a dent, and then you've got to figure out how to work that area back out and fix it. So just take your time. Nice, gentle hammer blows in the right area, and just work it until you get it where you need to be. Don't think that you need to be swinging like this every single time you forge something. It's all about hammer control, because hammer control will get you more, will do more benefit for you than swinging like a freaking, like the Hulk or something like that. That's not the big deal. If you're hitting it in the right spot the whole entire time, you're going to do your work way faster than someone who's just swinging the hell out of their hammer. Yeah, and the leather gauntlet knife. Right now, I'm at about like maybe like 13, 14 psi right now. I've got it just enough to have a nice even flame without it being too crazy. Like we're not even going out of the forge this far with the flame. The whole point is just keeping it even. And I gave it enough time to heat up completely. Same in that little section there. Okay. So I need to tell you what I'm doing right now. So right now, this side right here was a little bit shallower than this side over here. The easiest way to correct that is to put the shallow side on the edge of the anvil and then hammer on the actual piece of steel that's hanging off of the anvil. And what it'll do, if you hammer here and this is on the anvil, it'll shift this section over and it will start evening it up. So if you're wondering how to correct yourself, if you decide to do a spear like this and your spear starts moving off to one side, all you got to do is just hammer. So let's say if it's like this, put this side on the anvil and hammer on this side and you'll actually work it down just like that. And because the spear wasn't as hot as the section that I was trying to move, I barely dented the spear point or spear section at all. You know, it has to be hot in order for the hammer to actually do something to it. But that'll let you get things lined up. It's the same way if we're doing integral bolster and we want to get our blade in line and even, you just hang the bolster off the edge of the anvil, put the blade on the anvil, and hammer whichever side you need to shift. And you'll be good. Works the same way with doing bevels, trying to get a nice even plunge line. We're going to do that one more time. Come in here. And I'm going to square it up. Hammering on the other side. Now we have two roughly the same profile sections there. We can keep forging the hand. So I get a lot of my belts from Phoenix belts. If you put in Templar's 10 or Templar 10, then you get 10% off Phoenix abrasives. But you can get pretty much any belt size you need from Phoenix abrasives. And then my ones that I use to sharpen, I use Pro Sharpening Supply. So if you need like belts that are like the 600, 800, 1000 grit leather stropping belts, Pro Sharpening Supply. Neither one of them are sponsors for this or anything like that. That's just me giving y'all info for what I use. braces, maritime supply. Yep. Thank you, John. Let this heat up just a little bit more. And then we'll start working on that handle, tapering it out. So what's going to end up happening is the handle is going to have a pretty uniform thickness all the way through it, and then it's going to have a flare at the end. To sharpen, Pro Sharpening Supply. Look them up. You'll get all your sharpening grits plus leather stropping belts and everything. A little bit of planishing. Let's see. So where are we at right now for handling? So we're at 11.5 inches. Be interesting to see how big of a handle we get when it's all said and done. So 11.5 inches right now, which is plenty for what we're going with right now. Like you, my grinder only has 1 speed. Yeah, I know. Well, technically my 2x72 has 3 speeds. It has fast, really fast, and holy shit, that's ridiculously fast. I mostly use it on the last one. Head bang into hammer blows. just do music of all forge and stuff. What's up, G-Tag 848 is my Roblox. My son's played the heck out of Roblox, man. And right now, we're not really focused on making things look super pretty, but you can see how I'm going through. I'll move y'all over just a hair. You can see that I'm going through. I'm starting to get a little curve here. I'll correct that on the next heat, but all we're going to do to correct that is just forge on the side that has the hump. I'll start banging that out. Now, the reason why I'm not planishing a ton right now is you see there's 2 different colors here. There's this center color and then there's this outer, I guess, lightness and darkness. This outer section is flared out. So right now it's kind of shaped like an I-beam. We're going to save all of that. We're not going to get too crazy with flattening all that, because what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to use the straight peen and we're going to forge all of that out, and that is going to add extra length to the handle. If I went and I was just flattening it as I go, would it eventually equate to length? Yes, but if I just do all the forging, get it neck down, and then use the straight peen, it'll just move all that material lengthwise, and we'll get a longer handle. So once I do that, we'll do a couple of heats of the straight peen, and then we'll flatten. What's up, Vito? Yep, and yeah, we're making a short spear. What's up, Layla? How you doing? I'm gonna call you Packy. Yeah. Greetings from Russia. What's going on? What time is it in Russia? The guy who makes all of my handle blocks, so the stabilized wood that I use for my handles, his name's Oleg. He's from Russia. Absolutely awesome dude. Oleg Vashkovic. Vashkovic. It's one of those. He makes the blocks that almost every YouTuber uses. Yeah, we are working on a short spear. Basically, we're making something fun that I'm going to use in my backyard. Starting to get it thinned out. Okay. We still have a really big flare on the sides there. I'm going to go ahead and keep forging until I get to about right here. And then we'll start using the other hammers. And then basically what we're going to do is we're going to use those to get a little bit of length out of it. And then we'll go back and we'll flatten, and then we'll forge the profile a little bit more, and then we'll get a little bit of length, and we'll basically work back and forth until we get the actual profile size and everything that we want. The last thing that we're going to work on in the handle profile is going to be what would be considered like the pommel, which is like the end flare. I'm going to do that last. So Instagram sales 2x48 kit. A 5 horsepower motor. Jeez. How did I get my job? So I basically got let go from the job I was working at, and I decided to take up knife making full time. I'd already been making knives. I just decided this is what I'm going to do. And the funny thing is, I make knives and sell life insurance. Alright, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hop on the guillotine tool one more time. Turn around backwards. Make sure y'all can see this real quick. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to forge in another neck down section right in front of what's going to be the pommel. Getting hard to make knives is incredibly rare. This is true. I do have a few friends that do that though. They did YouTube and now they work for a knife making company full time. And then also make YouTube. Like Drew Lindinger, he's doing it, and then can't remember the other guy's name. Another younger guy. We're going to slide this into the guillotine about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch in front of the end of it. Just like that right there. Flatten it just a little bit. I'm going to do that one more time. Bring that up to temp. And basically what I'm doing is, yeah, I think it's Montana Knife Co. But I make the guillotine. So I got this right here from, I think it's like a yesteryear forge. So I'm necking it down so that I can create that flare later. Yeah, it's Drew, and he is in Montana. So that's Drew Lininger. He makes some of the best Quakens I've ever seen. And I'm real partial to the Quaken profile. He makes really cool ones. Let's go back in, guillotine tool. Flip it. Really starting to step that down right now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to forge this area that's kind of flared out right here down to the thickness that we want. Go ahead and before that gets too hot, move the anvil back. From Brazil, what's up? How you doing? What's up, Jason? Yeah, his folders are absolutely awesome, Matt. Got my Brazil people in here. One of the guys from our podcast, the Knife Makers, the Knives Templar podcast, Otis or Pinto. That's where he's from. There's a whole bunch of amazing knife makers in Brazil. If y'all didn't know that. So we got that flared out now. Bring that section down just a little bit more. Now that's a wardrobe with a statement. It is hot in here today. And right now, it's probably close to about 95, 100 degrees in the shop. Got a little bit of a breeze, and ooh, now I can open this other door. Get some of that cooler air from the outside. But man, whenever I have this other door shut and just the big door open, it's not so awesome. It gets pretty hot in here. Don't speak English well. Also don't understand everything you say in English. That's understandable. You actually type it pretty well. How do I get it like this? I really just grow it and then groom it a lot. And keep it oiled. Use beard oils. They're worth it. Okay, I think what I'm going to do now is we'll go ahead and stretch it out, and then we'll thin it out again. Right now I want to stretch it with the straight peen. When we're doing this particular process of stretching it, our goal, I'm going to use the straight peen cross peen, or the straight peen flat one for this. This is the one that I use for all my integral bolsters. Again, two bastards. But I'm going to use this. Our goal whenever we're doing this is whenever we're hitting it, we're only trying to bring the high points down to the thinnest section of this tang. So we don't want to put a bunch of dents that go all the way across the tang. We want to just neck it down. We want to basically just step it down to being even with the tang. So there's going to be a bunch of little mountains like this. The valley needs to be only as low as the tang. If you're putting marks all the way across the tang, you're hammering too far. You're pushing it too much, and you're going to have to fix that later. What I'll typically do is I'll come in, if let's say the eye is shaped like this is the low part of the tang, and these are the two things that are flared out from hammering here and here, I will actually hammer at a slight angle and a slight angle whenever I'm doing this. So I'm not ever really hammering flat across. Hammering angle, 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 angle. It's my preferred way to do it. All I did on that time was just one side of it. And you can see all the dents are just on the outer edge. All the dents are just on the outer edge. So we're going for it. Just trying to get a uniform thickness and get some length out of it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to flip on both sides. What's up, Cole? The dad lore post Zumi's career. That's incredible to watch. Yep. How is Zumi's, Cole? How you doing? I was a manager for Zumi's for like 5 years. Easily one of my favorite jobs I've ever worked in the 40 years that I've been working for that company. Was the best. I use a Fuller Hardy for that. That makes sense. Now I could use the guillotine for it, but Great run, 4 whole states now. Really? Heck yeah. Are you a regional now? Did you get promoted to the old regional manager? So same thing on just the edge. Hear me out. What if I put the guillotine under the power hammer? I could probably do that, but I'd probably crush the guillotine tool. That thing's not built for a 30-pound ram hitting it. I'll just sit here and listen to this. I definitely could do that. This is some awesome ASMR. This is gonna be cool. Just making the old short spear. I can't wait to finish this and actually throw it at stuff in my backyard and cut stuff with it. It's gonna be fun. Again, right now, we're just trying to get the handle to about 85% done. And then we're going to flip to the blade side, forge in the bevels, get that to about 85% done, go back to the handle, make sure everything is where it needs to be, get the pommel section done, all of that, and then go back to the blade, planish, and then go back to the handle and planish. Get yourself a nice cadence, and you won't have near as much fatigue. You can sit there and hammer for that long. Okay, on this next heat, now that we got those sides kind of managed, we're going to go ahead, switch back to the rounding hammer, and forge the profile down just a little bit more. To be honest, I want to make a forge in my backyard. You should definitely do that. Duck has done that. Sneak peek. The only forge I mess around with was the barbecue that I hooked up to a blow jar. Hey, it works. You can make a pretty simple forge, a coal forge, and do pretty much whatever you need. You don't have to do a propane forge. It's not 100% necessary. You can easily just do a coal forge And you don't even have to have it set up to where, you don't have to have it set up in something that looks like a forge. You can just take some bricks, dig a hole in the ground, line the edges with bricks, throw some coal in there, some wood, burn it, get yourself a blow dryer, hook it up to a hose, stick it in there, boom, you got yourself a coal forge. You don't have to make some fancy thing that looks like a fancy forge. That's cool. Yeah, my shop, the one that y'all can't see right now, the one that makes up this wall where my TV's on, that shop came with this house. There was an 11 by 11 shop here. I knocked it down and built this, which is quite a bit bigger. The charcoal forge from a wheel rim with the PC fan as a blower. Nice. All right, let's start working on this profile some more. Go back in, grab the guillotine tool again. So I'm going to go ahead and neck down that section right in front of the pommel again. Yeah, we'll do it like that so I don't have to move the handle. Probably not the most functional way to do it, so I'm going to go ahead and go right here. That way the meat of the anvil is what's underneath the tool. What I want it to do is have a slight taper to the end where the pommel is going to be. I want it to have a little bit of taper back there. Version of ceramic forge. Nice. Learn to weld so I can get. Yeah, learning to weld is a big thing. Make cool tools like my hammer rack right here. You can make yourself a power hammer. You can do a lot of things if you have the ability to weld. Went ahead and necked that down just a little bit more. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a slight taper all the way to the back section right in front of that pommel. Making. I am making a short spear. I'm making something that's going to be absolutely fun to use in the backyard, throw at things, cut things, do all that fun stuff. I know a lot of people would love to just have a spear just for the sake of having a spear. I'm making one that is going to be manageable size, that is just going to be a blast to own and have. Is this a tool that's going to do anything really well? No. But it's going to be something that is going to create a lot of hours of fun. Got our taper back there. You see we still have a pretty thick body right here. We need to narrow that down. But yeah, I think this is going to be a cool, fun project. How do I get an even thickness? What I do is I always leave a section roughly the same thickness. And I've been able to, as I have done a lot of forging, I've forged a lot of knives, I can look at it and get everything roughly to that thickness. And it's all about just managing material, having a good eye. If you need to use calipers, use calipers. But it's all about even, consistent blows. Get yourself a nice cadence when you're hammering, nice little flow. And then make sure that you're actually hitting with the section of the face of the hammer that you're trying to hit with. Practice it, practice it, practice it, and it will make it a lot easier to get an even thickness. Because what ends up screwing up your thickness is having a wonky hammer blow somewhere where you put in a dent too far, and what ends up happening is you have to then thin everything to the depth of that dent. And that sucks. What's up from the Philippines? But yeah, whenever you get a crazy dent in it, then you gotta fix it. That's where it becomes a pain in the butt. If you just have good hammer control during it, you don't have to worry about that. Now I'm going to start planishing the handle. I have kind of the profile I'm looking for, which is a slight taper here and a slight taper there. As I go through and planish, I'm going to correct things here and there. And then we'll have a nice even blade. Again, we're only going for about 85% done on the handle. We'll finish making everything look real good once we get the blade done. We want to get it to 85%. We want to forge in our bevels, which is what we're going to be doing after we get this planished for the most part. We want to create a nice even thickness throughout the handle of this so that whenever we start forging the blade, we have something to base that thickness off of. A full tang short spear. Absolutely. Doesn't that just sound awesome? Don't you just want to have a full tang short spear just to throw at stuff? A lot of what I make just because I want to make it. I just want to have it and screw around with it, and then I'll sell it to somebody who gets to have fun with it. So it's cool. Bring that back up to 10. Okay, start planishing. Planishing at this point is pretty important. You need the blade, or you need the handle planished to have a nice even thickness like that right there. It needs to have a nice even thickness before we refine that profile. And the point behind that is, let's say we had a big bump here, a big bump there, and a big bump there that we didn't planish. If we got everything perfect and then we went through to planish, these three sections would actually expand and curve the handle that way. Just like whenever you're forging bevels. So you need to planish as we start refining things, and we're out of the abuse and make ugly phase. You need to start planishing and then moving, and then planish, then move, then planish, then move, so that it doesn't start moving and snaking on you or creating a banana or anything like that that you have to fix later. So we're not worried about making things ugly when we're just trying to get the steel to the position that it needs to be in. So when we're at about that 60% phase of the blade, or of the blade or the handle, once we get to about the 60% phase and we're trying to go from 60 to 80, 85, then we need to start planishing, hammering, planishing, hammering, planishing, hammering, and that's going to give you nice consistent thicknesses. Made a bowie style short sword with brass handguard, walnut. Heck yeah! So we forged in the last live stream that I did that buoy right there. That was the one that we forged the bevels in, everything like that. Oh yeah, I do a lot of normalizing cycles. So I should correct that. I do a normalizing cycle, and then I do a lot of grain refinement cycles. Because after your first normalizing cycle, you're just pretty much doing a bunch of grain refinements. Tang B right now. We're at a pretty decent uniform thickness. Now we're going to switch to working on the blade side. So we're at a decent uniform thickness. It's not a perfect profile just yet. We'll get that done the rest of the way once we get these bevels forged. What's up, Keith? We are making a short spear. I haven't done any folding stuff yet. What's up, Joseph? From Huntsville, Alabama. Heck yeah. Should get a 100-pound tank. I agree. I need a bigger propane tank. I need a couple of bigger propane tanks. What I've thought about doing is getting a really big tank and just putting a gate next to my shop and having the people come and fill it going through my alley and just fill the tank once a month. Heck yeah. Got my power hammer right here. Very simple little setup. 30-pound ram. It works real well. What's up, Jeannie? How you doing? So as soon as this gets up to temp, what we're going to start doing is we're going to start forging in the bevels. Now, because this isn't going to have a plunge line, the bevels are just going to go from the heel, if you want to call it a heel, of the spear up to the tip. And we just need to make sure we hammer both sides evenly and create a nice even ridge down the center there on both sides. It's going to be a big key point there. Start coming in, forging in the bevels. Okay, now that we got those started, in the next heat, I'm going to go ahead and switch to the round side of this hammer. And I'm going to start forging the whole entire edge down. And it's going to go a little bit more aggressive than just using the flat side. Basically what we're going to end up doing is we're going to pinch that edge all the way around. And then we'll start bringing that edge up to the center and making a nice ridge down the center. We need to pinch the outsides, get them where they need to be, and then slowly bring those up to the center. If you think about if you were going to do stock removal, you would grind a rough 45 all the way to the center line, and then you take and you start grinding, and you bring those bevels in all the way up to the center or to your spine. We're basically going to do the same thing. We're creating this, then we're going to forge and go down to the center, all both sides. Make some great hammers. Yep, I've got a John Norwood Old Hickory forge right here. One of his cross beams. I tend to use a lot of Two Bastards. For one, they're a sponsor. Again, back in the shirt. They're a sponsor to the channel, and I get all my hammers that I really use in a lot of the videos from them. So again, round side. Rebound. So I just created basically a knife right there. Now this next heat, I'm going to come in from the other side. And you'll see what it'll do is it will bring the other side up and center that tip again. Thank you, man. Ping, ping, ping. Yeah, use a height gauge because those are good for laying out lines. I don't really. So one of the reasons why it loses heat fast is because I have a fan blowing towards me. If I didn't have a fan blowing towards me, it would, for one, if I didn't have a fan, it's ridiculously hot. It's like 100-something degrees in the shop probably right now. Probably like 105. Yeah, it tends to cool down pretty quick. But I also want to show y'all something. So I'm gonna forge to the point that we just did right there, and then I'm gonna show you how hot the steel actually is. My lights play a crazy trick on your eyes. So my lights make everything look colder than it actually is. Now, whenever I first pull it out, it doesn't make that initial heat look cold. So I pull it out, it almost blows out the camera. Propane last. I could do what we're doing right now, and then probably another few knives. So let's go ahead, pinch this other side. And by default, now we have the tip back to centered. So look at it right now. Man, that thing looks cold. Bring it over here. What? Turn off this light. Dang, that thing's still hot. Turn off this light. Yep, and that's with the light all coming from this other side over here. If I close those doors, that thing would still be hot. So, if I was to close off the doors and actually take some of the light out of here, man, you would think, dang, why'd you stop forging with it? But yeah, it, let's see here. Find someone that is actually doing something. Well, thank you. Not sure. Yeah, you need to get a regulator that has an actual PSI gauge. You can get them from Ace Hardware. You can get them from Amazon. You can get them from a lot of different places. And yes, that is the perfect temp to be able to do that. So I decided, well, I would say YouTube kind of picked knife making for me. Whenever I first started my channel, I was just going to do vlog stuff, and then I did a few knife videos, and then I had a knife video go viral, and I was like, yes, I'm a knife maker, and I just started progressing from there. I was always a knife collector, but now I can make any knife that I want, and I just have a blast doing it. And I have the ability to manage material very well, just naturally. So it was kind of like it just fell into place. And then I spent a lot of time forging. Again, forged it down to that side, create almost a knife profile, then we forge this other side. And that'll bring that tip back to center. We'll have nice even bevels again. Beards are where blades blacksmiths store their knowledge. I think it's kind of funny because almost every bladesmith that I know has facial hair. Got the old caps lock. Son is getting a 2x72 tomorrow. Heck yeah. A 2x72 is a game changer for knife making. An absolute game changer. Started when you were 5? Heck yeah. So I'm doing this with 5160. This was originally a Willys Jeep leaf spring. I make a lot of the knives that I keep myself out of these Willys Jeep leaf springs that I have. But I use 1080, 1084, I use 15 and 20, I use 26 C3, I will use 80 CRV2, 8670 for pops. I use a bunch of different steels, but primarily I use a lot. 15-year-old with a 2x72, heck yeah. I use a lot of 5160. Do anything samurai style? I do. I make actually a lot of samurai blades. Y'all don't get to see them very often. But yeah, I love samurai. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start forging that other side some more. Pulls our tip back to center. keep doing that. We're just going to keep working our way. I want to forge that edge thickness down just a little bit more. And then we'll pull those bevels up to the center and get a nice ridge going down the center of this, which creates that spear ridge. Actually doing good. Might be making slightly better knives. See, I kind of like me, I went from a 1x30 to a 2x48 that I made to my 2x72, and I absolutely love my 2x72. And remember, I got my 2x72 before I started forging. So it really just depends on what you want to do. You can always do more forging, 100%. So it's not one of those things where you have to do a 2x72 or have to do a forge or have to do an anvil first. If you get into the hobby, you get into the skill set to where you're going to advance yourself no matter what. It doesn't really matter what tools you start with off the bat. It's just make sure that you want to do this before you make the investment of a 2x72. Because it's not cheap. Okay, we're going to come to the edge of the anvil and start thinning out that cutting edge. Profile. Go back in. Of course, we're trying to keep our profile nice and even as we thin down that edge. Connor. Do you use your hammer to keep your heat while in the middle? Yeah, I mean, you can absolutely do that. If you hammer faster, you retain more heat. Like a dwarf from the Lord of the Rings. If dwarfs were 6 feet tall, yes. Yeah, I know a few great ones. I'm happy that Elisha White, that he's going to be going with us. He's going to be doing the Dragon Forge experience with us. He's 17 right now. But he's going to be traveling with us. He's a very good smith. I'm 5'9". No, not 5'9". Best metal to use in things like you're doing right now. I tend to use a lot of 5160 for a lot of the stuff that I do, but I would say if you're going to forge a lot, just get yourself a bunch of 1080 or 1084 or 80 CRB2 and just call it done. They're really easy to heat treat. 5160 is very easy to heat treat, but I just order some 1080 or 1084. You can also order 5160. If you're going to use a leaf spring, do your research and make sure you're getting the right leaf springs. see that our ridge is starting to develop right there in the center on both sides. We're starting to develop a ridge. We'll slowly bring that ridge further back as we bring those bevels up and we thin that edge out and even it up. Right now we're looking good, but we want to go ahead and get as close to a forge to finish profile. You can see I have a full ridge that goes from here all the way up to the center. We're going to end up pulling that to the center, and there's going to be a nice ridge going straight down it. You know, and a lot of this is just going through and doing the actual forge to finish process as opposed to just forging a profile and to be able to grind it later. There's nothing wrong with that, but if you can forge as close to profile and to finish as possible, why not? You know what I mean? In your opinion, solid forging one piece or layering? So I like forging both. I forge Damascus pieces. I forge mono steels, but it's easier to do mono steels. You don't have to worry about D-lams and all that stuff. Keith, that's awesome to hear. Thank you for being here. I really like doing the videos. I really like doing the live streams. I think that it's really cool to be able to talk with people while I'm doing this particular thing. I know there's not a lot of people that do live streams with bladesmithing, but it's really cool to just watch. Even if you're not going to be a bladesmith, just watching someone craft something is really cool. You know, you get to live vicariously through me making a short spear that I know that almost all of y'all would love to have, just to have. I'm gonna set my little lights up so that it's not as dark over here. Now that the sun's going down. I didn't disappear. I'm still here. I didn't vanish. We're just getting lights. That way I'm not like, hey. Okay. Working on these bevels. We're just going to keep pulling the bevels up towards the center, and it's going to look good. What? Split slices? What's going on? thanks for being here, Danny. Any tips on heating up a forge? Mine never seems to get hot as others. Yeah, so when it comes to this right here, it does look hotter right now. I've only got it running at about 1,800 to 1,900 degrees in there. If you want to get it real hot, you just adjust what you would call kind of like the choke. Adjust your burner, the air intake, and adjust the amount of PSI that you're running. So let's say if you have a grill pressure regulator, so one that runs a grill, you're not getting enough PSI. You need to get a up to 30 PSI regulator, one that's actually for a forge. And then you need to make sure that you have enough airflow, or the right amount of airflow. How much do knives run? If you go to theriversexperience.com, theriversexperience.com, I've got a website that has all my knives on it, and I just got done putting like 9 new knives. I got some Damascus builds on there, a bunch of stuff. So if you want to check out my knives and stuff that I have for sale right now, go to the website. But if I started saying how much my knives were, YouTube would just shut my whole channel down. I just did that whole entire phase with the round side of my hammer. Just trying to pinch the material down just a little bit. I'm going to use the round side almost all the way up to that ridge, and then I'm going to planish everything nice and smooth. Laser thermometer. Yep, laser thermometers help. I've got one right there. What's up, Steve? And a power meter. You can actually get one of those to stick in the side of your forge. Your spear's wobbly. Don't talk about my spear, Duck. Don't worry, it's not going to be wobbly when it's done. stuff centered. Okay, so on this next heat, I'm going to be switching to not this hammer. We're going to do the lightweight dog head. So this is a collab with Gnome Hammer Forge and the good old Brown House made. We're going to use it. It was awesome having you here. Duck, that has to be you just straight up removing comments. The lollipop guild. It's barely not falling out of the forge. It's not falling out of the forge. At one point it does rest like right here on the edge. So at this point, I'm not going to get it super hot. I'm gonna heat it up just a little bit, and I'm going to use the dog head to just kind of refine it a little bit. You don't want to use a heavy hammer for this. So I tend to use a lot of different hammers during these processes. Let's see here. I saw it almost fall. There's a Dragon Forge experience. That's going to be the end of October, and then all of November and beginning of December. But if you look up the Dragon Forge experience Texas, it'll actually show you when and where it's at. And the cool thing is the people that go there can actually do some foraging and stuff like that. That's the whole point, is just kind of teaching people how to do some of the processes. You get to make your own knife with having a knife maker there, which is really cool. And it doesn't have to be a knife. You can make all kinds of different things. We make all kinds of different things during it. What's up, Herman? How you doing? Okay, we've probably got about 2 or 3 more heats on the blade, and then start working on the handle some more. How much forge time can you get out of one tank? Really depends on how much PSI you're running. But you could easily, get probably 4 or 5 hours if you're just running it the entire time. But we're going to have 2 hours with this one right here. So you can get a pretty decent amount. If I was running a 1 burner, I would get a lot more out of it. And if my internal chamber on my forge, it doesn't look that big right here, but it is 18 inches deep. It's a big forge. So it's 18 inches long. Most forges are not that big. Like the forges that you see on Forged in Fire are only probably maybe 12 inches long. Just a little planishing hammer. You're wondering why I'm using such a small hammer? All we're doing right now is kind of planishing. I think I'm comfortable with where the blade's at right now, profile wise and bevel wise. I think it's time to go ahead and work on the tang some more. So we're looking good on our profile. We got our bevels forged on both sides. A nice even tip. I think now we can go ahead and so we have the second time doing that. Let's go ahead and grab these. This is why I like having the tongs on this anvil now. So we're going to go ahead and start working on the handle. We got the blade about 85% done. I want to go ahead, work on the handle, and get the handle finished out to it's about 85%, and then we'll finish cleaning up the blade after that. And if you're wondering why I do these things and these steps or these orders, a lot of that, I want y'all to see something real quick for one. It's just like hammer, 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 hammer. All the hammers. Real pig sticker, better believe it. Dragon Forge event sounds like a good one for a new bladesmith to pick. Yep, it does. I know I have a hammer rack, but I put them all around me like this. I got this idea from actually Jason Knight. I put them all around me so I don't have to walk over there to do that. Whenever I'm putting them away, they'll go on the rack. But I want to be able to just reach down, grab a hammer, and start forging. Reach down, grab a hammer, and start forging. I don't want to have to move around. So they surround me in a circle, and I can grab whichever hammer I want at that particular time. Now, what I was saying a minute ago, the reason why I do the blade to 85% done and then go back to working on the handle is because we still have material to move on the handle a little bit, and that is going to mess up the blade just a little bit because you're holding it by the blade. So as we do the little bit of forging we're going to do, it's going to put some damn weird stuff on the blade section that we're going to need to fix after we get the handle done. So you kind of have to mess it up a little bit while you're doing one other step. So you don't want to get it to absolutely full and go from there. We're right next to you. I probably should do that. But yes, I have to. You do one part and then work on that, and then work on the next part, then work on the next part, then work on the next part, because you're going to end up screwing things up as you go. What's up, Coulter? How you doing? From Germany. What's going on? All right, let's work on this handle some more. Kind of lined up. Get everything centered. Looking pretty dang good so far. Everything's kind of centered. I still got to do some more planishing, but yeah. So we are making a short spear out of 5160. This is going to be something that's just kind of fun to use in the backyard, throw at things. Just kind of one of those why the heck not moments. Hey, Duck, are you still here? Cool mini pig sticker? Yep. What's up, Mule? How you doing? Can you go ahead and handle some of that, Duck? Do that whole mod thing you be doing. So, Mule, we are working on a short spear. We're working on a short spear. We're making a cool, like, just have fun with in the backyard type of thing. You know, there's a lot of people that would love to have a spear just to have. So I decided I was going to make a full tang spear. Because why not, you know? Okay, I'm going to heat it up one more time. We'll planish the handle. And then we'll go back to the blade. We'll finish doing the blade and we will be done. Home stretch. Home stretch. That's a funky halberd. Fashion style blade at the top. Nice. Blade halberd I want to do. That would be really cool. Thank you, S30V. Also, nice name. I got a few things made with S30V. I don't know if that's the thing behind your name. Looking to build a ribbon burner forge soon. Yep. Ribbon burners, that's one of the things that I'm going to be doing here soon as well. Yep. CPM S30V. Nice. I got a few knives made of that. Some of my EDCs. I've been enjoying Magna Cut a lot lately. Yes, that right there is Elisha's. Working Hand Forge. I got it from me whenever I was at that Texas Select Show. Okay, planishing time. Lightweight hammer for planishing. That's the way to go. Okay, that looks good. Okay, let's try and put this even enough so that I don't end up knocking it over. So our tang has a nice even thickness throughout the whole entire tang. Got a nice finish all the way down. It's got an even profile all the way through. Kind of tapers towards the front just a little bit, tapers towards the rear just a little bit. Now we just need to go ahead and get the blade finished out the rest of the way. We'll have ourselves a forge to finish spear. Bambino. 20 inches? No, it's longer than that. Here, let's check real quick. We're at 22 3/4. So 22 3/4 of an inch. So close. $28 on the die. Heck yeah. Nice, never seen or heard of a short spear. Yeah, if you look up short spears, you'll find a whole bunch of different things. Zulu spears, Zulu tribe spears, they tend to be a lot shorter and smaller than your typical spear that you think of. This right here is something that you could easily throw and have a blast throwing, which y'all will see on the channel because I'll end up finishing this on one of the Shop Talks Tuesdays. But basically, it is, yeah. Duck, yours is more of a short sword with a long handle. This actually has a spear, you know, the length of the head, the spearhead is shorter than the handle. So, what's the plan for the handle? I am going to do the same handle material that I put on the Samurai Challenge build. Wheelbarrow handle. It's cool because it gets that like dark brown, light red color whenever you work with. But yeah, that's what handle I'm going to put on this. It's going to have black micarta pins. I think it's going to look pretty cool. Okay, more planishing on the blade. At this point, I'm forging higher on the bevels. Go back in the heat. But I'm forging higher up on the bevels, and I'm trying to create that slight ridge going down the center. An old axe handle I'll put on mine. That'd be cool. Yeah, I've got enough material to make the handle for this sitting right down here. Again, whenever y'all see this tomorrow, whenever I get it all cleaned up and everything's how I want it to look, you'll be like, dang, that's pretty damn cool. And I kind of want to make one. Which is my goal every single time I make one of these. Random things. I want people to go, dang, I kind of want to make one of those now. Okay, on the next heat, I'm going to go ahead, switch to the rounding hammer, Pinch that edge down a little bit more, thin it out just a hair more than where we're at right now. And I kind of want to play with the profile just a little bit more. Right now, the way it's set up, one side has a nice even round, the other side has kind of like a flat and then goes into a round, and I want to get that evened up. Guys, and if y'all aren't part of the Discord, we post a lot of the stuff that we mess with on a day-to-day basis on the Discord. Doug, if you're able to share the Discord in the chat, do that. If not, you can always go to the like community posts that I have. I'm pretty sure I have the Discord posted in it. I post more often on that than I do on Instagram. All right, start pinching that edge. Right now I'm just trying to bring the edge thickness down a little bit more. Yeah, so what I'll do is, if you're not part, you can be part of the TRE workshop page on Facebook. It's t.r.e.workshop, and I'll have the Discord in that. And I don't know if it's on my website. If not, I need to add that to the website. Thank you for that point. I need to make sure it's on there. Yeah, Doug's really good at reminding me of stuff like that. Forging doesn't usually take as long as I'm taking to do this, but because I've never made one of these, a lot of this is me just kind of going with the flow, figuring it out as I go, seeing what I need to change and changing it. Making sure that everything is even as we go. And I do that a lot on the live streams. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that I've wanted to make, and I'm like, now I got an excuse. You know, we got to forge something. Why not do something random? And that's probably one of the best parts about the live streams. Whenever I saw him make that short spear, I was like, yeah, I kind of want to make one of those. This was the perfect excuse. And all we're doing at this point right now is just cleaning up the cutting edge on both sides and then planishing. Have I ever done armor? I have not, but I do plan on doing it eventually. I have not made any armor yet, but I kind of want to dabble in that. Yeah, now we're starting to get a nice little ridge down the center. You can't see it a ton, but there's more shine on this side. It's like right there up to the center. On this side, you can see the ridge right there. So right there. Starting to get there. Starting to pull that in and chill. See, the crazy thing is those aren't crickets because this is Texas and it's June bugs. When June bugs were created, okay, whether they evolved into this or God just made June bugs. Literally made the dumbest bug on the planet. June bugs are like blind. They just, you know, their wings don't fit their bodies or anything like that. So they just fly around and hitting stuff. Just like, hit the wall, hit a light, hit this thing over there, hit that thing over there, smack somebody in the head. June bugs are the dumbest bug. And if you don't know what a June bug looks like, come here, June bug. A June bug, let me flip him over. A June bug looks like this little, he flipped himself back over. That's how dumb they are. I tried to flip him over, and yeah, they're just dumb. They're the dumbest bug. Useless bugs. I flipped him over on his belly, flipped himself over back on his back. I could have easily stopped doing this like 45 minutes ago if I wasn't trying to get it as clean as I am. How often do I stream? I stream pretty much every single Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. The only time that I don't do that is if I'm at a show, so like a knife show or something like that, but I'll typically stream at the knife shows. Like the last weekend, I was at Texas Select. I streamed Jay Nielsen doing a demonstration with Shelly, his girlfriend, doing a canister Damascus, and then did a little bit of streaming for some of the chopping competition that they had there. What's up, Crab? Welcome back. Right now we're just refining the blade, getting our nice ridge down the center, and that's it. That's all we got to do now is just get this blade exactly how I want it, and we are good. The reason why I'm focusing on this as much as I am is I want the ridge to be brute to forge. So whenever I grind the bevels into this, I want the whole entire center of that to be brute to forge. And I think it's going to have a nice cool transition from going from what would be the ricasso into that brute to forge center into the nice clean bevels. Okay, we're going to go back into the forge, one more heat, and then we can planish. Call this puppy done. What I'm really looking forward to is cleaning this up tomorrow and being able to take a picture of it so that y'all can see what it looks like cleaned up and what the profile is going to finish out like. I think that this is going to be really, really, really cool. And what I wish that I had for the handle was like some gidgee or something that was like had a whole bunch of figure to it, or even like a really long curly maple piece. That would be really cool. But I think that this handle material that I'm going to use is going to look really cool on it in contrast with the black pins very well. Finish planishing time. y'all can see it. The ridge starts right here, works its way up. You can kind of see the shadow transition up through the center here. But it starts all the way back there. There you go. If I put my hand over it, you can see the light transition between here and there. Here and there. Here and there. All the way up the center. So there's a ridge that runs all the way up. There you go. See that ridge right there? That goes right up through here, all the way to the tip. That's what we were going for. Got a nice ridge all the way down the center. Our bevels are nice and even. Our profile is nice and even. Our thickness is nice and even throughout the whole entire thing. We got our heels centered into our tang on both sides. So our heels are centered. Everything's nice and even. Everything's nice and straight. Thickness of our bevels are nice and even. So now, go ahead, go back into the forge. Lock it off a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let it come up to temp just a little bit, okay? It's going to come up to temp just a little bit. And we're going to turn the forge off, and it will come up to about 1600 degrees because the internal temperature of the forge is that hot. If you let your steel at this phase get up to 1600 degrees and then shut the forge off and leave it in the forge, let's say your forge was running at 1900 to 2000 degrees, it's going to bring that steel all the way past 1600 up to maybe 1800, 1900 degrees. It's too hot. You only want it to get up to about 1600 on this particular phase and then cool back down with the forge to do the annealing process. If you get it to 1600 and then let it come all the way up, you're going to end up getting your steel too hot and burning it. So we just want to bring it up a little bit to temp and then shut the forge off. Let it come up to temp with the forge and yeah, I know. There's the crickets. So in Texas, you have two things. You have June bugs and you have crickets. And whenever it's cricket season, we get like 6,000 crickets per, let's just say square 10 feet. It's ridiculous. DIY heat treat oven video, go to Red Beard Ops. Red Beard Ops on YouTube. And he's got a fantastic video on it. You'll be able to easily see what's going on there. One of the things that I wanted to show y'all again, so y'all get to kind of get the sneak peek of this. So this is part of the handle for the Viking challenge, and this bolster here, I did a design on it all the way around. So this is wrought iron. Did a real deep etch on it. Almost gets like a wood grain look. But it's that's the guard for the Viking challenge. And then I'm gonna have runes all the way down this side and then all the way down this side right here. The runes on this side will actually say the river's experience, and then I'll have another saying on this side right here. But That is going to be really cool. And this thing is looking absolutely awesome with the forged fullers. Yeah. But y'all will see how I end up doing that. It's going to be pretty cool. Man, 2 hours and 40 minutes. I think we're good. I think we did a good job. I'm going to go inside and eat some food. Guys, let's go ahead. Let's call this live stream here. Thank y'all for coming by. Thank y'all for actually participating in the comment section and talking and all that, even for people who were trolling and things like that. You know, it is what it is. Anytime we have a decent viewer count, it's going to happen. But next weekend, 6:30 p.m. Central Time, we're going to be doing another live stream. Hopefully y'all are ready for that. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a cool build. Let's see what y'all think whenever y'all see me forge it. But I absolutely love doing the live streams. It's one of my favorite things to do. I actually like doing the live streams more than I like doing the regular videos because I actually get to talk to people. So the more people that actually participate in this, the more people that come by and do this with me, the better. It really drives me to keep doing it. So I'm happy to have y'all here. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I know I don't say that enough, but make sure you subscribe. Subscribing's free. Blacksmith Bowie. You want me to do a blacksmith Bowie knife? I can do that. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll do something like that in the next live stream. Who knows? Guys, let's go ahead and end it here and call it done. Thank y'all for coming by. Y'all have an amazing day. Y'all have an amazing weekend. Y'all stay safe out there. And guys, gals, I will catch y'all on the next live stream. Thank y'all for being here. The crickets are also saying goodbye. So let's go ahead and see y'all next week. Bye, y'all. With cut lines and everything. You can share that to me, Duck. Guys, I'll see y'all next week.